Hello, YouTube! Guildmaster Dennis here, and welcome to Novices Guild Hall. And welcome to the very first Mainline Monday. We're going to be playing through the entirety of the Pokemon Mainline series, starting with Generation 1, and working our way up all the way to Generation 10 when it releases in 2027. Alright, let's start things off with a little bit of a warning, I guess. As I'm doing this video, you may hear me slightly out of breath, and that's because I'm doing this while walking on a walk pad. I'm at a slow speed, so hopefully it shouldn't be too bad, but there are definitely a lot of moments where I'm going to be stopping to take a breath. But this will serve multiple purposes. One, it will keep me active, and it'll keep my energy levels slightly up, so that way I don't result in tired voice. And talking while moving like this will help my lung capacity and help with my training as a voice actor. So, next step, let's talk about the setup. Today's setup is using BizHawk because it allows both the automatic party management of PokéLink and achievements using Retroachievements. Now, I will be tracking the achievements, but I'm not going to be going for specific ones. I'm not going to be doing challenges. I just want to make it so that when I complete the game, it finally shows up as beaten. I've been on Retroachievements for years and have no games listed as beaten. So that's the goal here. It'll mainly be tracking our badges and the achievements for those things. If you are interested, I'll leave the link to my profile down in the description so you can check out what games I've been playing. But let's go ahead and hop right in. I've already set us up to start off. Our rival here is named Mark, as usual, because of Rabambi Teacher, a good friend of mine. And let's grab our starter. Oh, what? What's this, Rabambi? Bah! He punched me. Professor Oak, he punched me. Hey, if you guys don't remember that, you haven't played Pokemon in a while. He literally just shoves you out of the way and grabs the Pokemon. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's a great way to start a Pokemon game. What else was I going to say? Right. We're going to be doing Nuzlocke encounters, but not Nuzlocke rules. Just so that way I'm not spending a buttload of time going through the grass looking for the Pokemon that I want to use. I'm just going to go up to the grass, grab the first Pokemon that we see. We're not going to do nicknames though because I don't have time for nicknames. I've been on the treadmill at speed 1.5 for 6 minutes while I did the setup. And I can already feel the sweat starting. This is going to be interesting. I plan on recording for 2 hours of just Pokemon. I have other series that I'm going to be recording today as well. So I'm going to be spending hours on this treadmill, slowly walking. So hopefully that will make my trainer happy, but I am going to be exhausted. I may have to take breaks. Maybe I'll do an hour on the treadmill, an hour off the treadmill. I don't know. I didn't think this through. I bought the walking pad that showed up 2 days ago, and I'm like, hey, let's use that in the recordings. We'll see how this goes. It may not be feasible with some other games because some of the games I'm playing are a little bit more intense than Pokemon. Well, I actually have to be more actively participating instead of just casually holding the controller in one hand. Pretty much, I should probably set my watch to walking mode. There we go. Smell you later. Back when rivals were rude little dickheads. Oh, would you look at that? It's odd, but it appears that your Pikachu dislikes Pokeballs. You should just keep it with you. That should make it happy. You can talk to it and see how it feels about you. Yeah, so that's the mechanic they added in this game, is Pikachu follows behind you, and you can talk to him. Doing so usually gets you several different achievements throughout the series. It's for any variety of things. There's so many different things that I actually don't know them all. I can't know them all. It's too many. The majority of them are things like, you know, certain happiness levels, and then whether you won your most recent battle or lost your most recent battle. In fact, if you repeatedly put him in and out of the box, his happiness level will drop, and that's how you are supposed to get some of the other ones. But like I said, I'm not really going to be bothering trying to get all these. So I'm just going to play the game as normal, and occasionally I'll talk to Pikachu and see if we get an achievement. Oh, that reminds me. I need to switch to fast. And we're going to shut the animations off, both for speed and to avoid possible seizures for my audience, because Gen 1 animations were just a lot of flashing screens. Here's one of the achievements that I do know. It's a really simple one. For some reason, the achievements aren't popping. And I'm wondering if it's because of an issue. I'm not really that worried. I think I might just need to close the emulator and open it back up. So let me save really quick. I'll do a quick pause in the video. There. Now that I've restarted the emulator, if I do this again... There we go. Have Pikachu stand behind a ledge. That is an incredibly easy early game achievement you can get. And now... There you go. Another achievement for his mood. They're so simple, it's kind of ridiculous. But there's a lot of those. You'd actually have to pay attention and try. Or talk to Pikachu every like 2 minutes. But we're not going to do that. Let's talk to Professor Oak so we can give us the Pokedex. Yeah. I always forget about the turbo buttons that are programmed into most of the emulators. So I end up just mashing A when I can actually just hold down a button instead. Alright, obtain a Pokedex from Professor Oak. What we do not get is Pokeballs. Professor Oak is stingy and gives you no balls. There's actually a lot of really good Pokemon early game in this. Surprisingly, I think some of them are actually decent, even in Gen 1. I mean, if you're interested in an easy playthrough that just requires you to spam one move over and over again, just go for a Nidoran. Specifically the male Nidoran, because it eventually learns Horn Drill. You know what? Actually, don't even want. I'll grab like 3. And then 2 antidotes. There we go. Alright, so it looks like our next Pokemon is going to be Pidgey, assuming I don't murder it right here. It at least does start with Gust, which is nice. Alright, we got Pidgey. No nicknames. Alright, moving on to Route 22. What I'm going to do is I'm going to catch my 3... I'm 4 Pokemon. Route 1, Route 2, Viridian Forest, and Route 22. And then I will take a quick pause, and I'm going to add rare candies in, not because I want to cheat, but because I don't want to spend an hour grinding between videos. Oh. Well, looks like we're getting double birds. We're going to be Faulkner today, guys. Could be much worse. Spearow, tiny bird Pokemon. I love how there's 2 tiny bird Pokemon. They couldn't even give him a different designation. They're just like, nah, tiny birds. Oh. I just said... Oh, no. I guess I did it too late. There's actually a different one for when you catch a Pokemon and then talk to Pikachu. No, I'm not interested in your tutorial. Oh, well. That's why you're supposed to weaken them. Also, like to know where you found that Rattata in the middle of this town. We're not in New York. There's not rats all over the place. Alright, come on, Route 2 encounter. Let's go. Female Nidoran. Okay. I can work with that. Nidoqueen's not that bad. but it's also really easy to catch. Oh, well, just immediately prove me wrong, why don't you? Yeah, it's determined to prove me wrong now. Alright, got Nidoran, and we'll pop into the forest, and we'll catch probably a Caterpie, because I believe that's kind of our only option. Unless we're going to get a Metapod. Because surprisingly, Pokemon Yellow, you can't get the Beedrill line. But Caterpie's actually what I wanted here anyway, because Butterfree gets confusion upon evolution, I think, which makes it really good for fighting Brock. Because Brock has no Rock-type moves, and really bad special. Alright, I'm going to pause real quick. It'll be a second for you guys. And we're going to level up. Alright, finally done with that. It took me a little bit because it was giving me issues, but the entire team is now level 9, except for Butterfree, who I got to level 10 just so I'd have a Butterfree instead of a Metapod. I also want to note, I kept walking the entire time I was doing tech support, which took me like 15 minutes. So I'm already at a half an hour of walking. And I also have my nephew slash pup, whatever you want to call him. And he's really curious about the walk pad. Thank you, buddy. He can't figure it out. He doesn't understand what Uncle Dennis is doing. Alright, well, your Spearow is so toast. I'm at a very awkward height trying to pet the puppy and walk and play the game. It is an interesting thing. Let's switch to the Spearow. Alright. Sorry, I'm also trying to keep an eye on him. I'm now multitasking on like 4 different levels. I'm walking, playing a game, talking to you guys, keeping an eye on a puppy. It's a lot. And he's really not happy about it. Defeating Mark is easy. Now for the ever fun walking through Viridian Forest. There. Oh. Let me go heal my Spearow. All right. We're going to put Spearow up front, as they're going to be my go-to for all the bugs. You know, I'd say I'm walking just as much as our character is. You know, I saw a guy do a challenge of that. I wonder if I could do the same thing with the walking pad. I can't move in the game unless I'm moving on the walking pad. Or he did it. He counted steps. There's every step IRL was a step in the game. It's just like, wow, dude. And he was still grinding, too. He needed to grind his levels. He wasn't using our candies. Alright, going through the forest is always probably one of the easiest things in the entire game to me. Because you just grab a Pidgey or a Spearow and just walk through, basically. It gets more interesting in Nuzlocke because there are a ton of trainers here, actually. There's 6 people in Viridian Forest, which in randomized Nuzlocke could be incredibly dangerous. Sorry, I got distracted by my layout. Whoops. That's the problem with hitting the turbo is you hit yes to the I want to switch Pokemon. Right. Another bug catcher down. What do we have for time on the treadmill? We're about 40 minutes on the treadmill for 25 minutes of footage. I started recording 50 minutes ago. And that just tells you how long things can take to do something simple, with interruptions, with needing to deal with your own body, and with technical issues. We're at 26 minutes. And it's taken me 50 minutes. Alright, this guy says I can't beat him. This bug catcher with a Caterpie. Surprisingly, it actually did survive two hits. I didn't expect that. Metapod's got better defenses, so I expected that. Right, more free items. I mean, that's the good part about the forest, is it gives you a couple good free items. Yeah, like I said, really good in randomized Nuzlockes, because those could be 2 Master Balls. Those could be 2 high-level potions. Alright, 1 Caterpie. Now, Mainline Monday is what I want to do. I want to play through the entirety of the Mainline series and play through every generation. But, let's face it, things aren't going to be exciting until the later generations, because these early generations, 1 and 2, and maybe even 3 sometimes, are just spam A. Most of the time, not even switching moves, because too many people were type blocked. They type blocked everybody. All the gym leaders, tons of the random trainers were like, oh, I'm only using bug types and stuff. Alright, now that we've beaten the Verdian Forest, let's move on to Brock. Brock should be cake. Like, honestly, it's just... not difficult. And I know I'm going to keep saying that. I'm going to say it a lot. But as long as you have a Pokemon that's either super effective or targets one of their low stats, Pokemon's not a difficult game. It's never meant to be a difficult game. It is, in fact, a perfect RPG for novices. This walking pad is no joke. You do this in a hot room and just do it for like half an hour, you probably lost 300 calories. Don't quote me on that number. Sandshrew is one of those Pokemon that's not great in use, but has such a really cool design. There. Another. Alright, here we go. Time to beat Brock. By the way, enjoy this music. I'm using a brand new music track created by somebody on Instagram that I've completely forgot the name of. Give me 1 second while I look that up. Alright, here we go. I looked it up. Elementary. God, wow, my brain. Elementality Studios on Bandcamp and Instagram. I think they've got other social medias. He has done custom soundtracks for all of the gym leaders in Kanto, done the Elite Four, and the Legends. So you will hear custom music from that. I have reached out for permission to use his music, and I've not gotten a response. So if you hear this and you would like me to remove it, please let me know, and I will do so immediately. I'll leave a link to the Bandcamp down in the description. You should definitely check it out and buy it because it's great. As you're about to hear right now. I think he did a fantastic job. I think it sounds like Brock. While keeping to the original tones of Pokemon. You know, it doesn't sound completely out of place. And the thing is I'm going to beat Brock before the song even ends. So Onix is surprisingly fast. No matter how fast that Onix is, he's still not good enough to beat my Butterfree. That's badge numero uno.